Here we are in section 3-1, exercises numbers 18 through 26. And we're going to be dealing with unit conversions here. So all these fractions have units on them. The first thing we'll practice with is the reciprocal, so that we can see that you can use it either way. Here we have there's 1 minute per every 60 seconds. Well, the reciprocal means you trade it upside down. 60 seconds for every 1 minute. And you're like, well, that's silly. No, it's nice. These are the same thing. That 60 seconds per 1 minute, 1 minute per 60 seconds. Yeah, the idea is that they're both ones. So when you flip them on top of each other, it's still the same. They're equal. So, all right. So the reciprocal of number 19 is there's 1 mile. Yeah, you can see there's a 1 down there for 1 mile. 1 mile for every 1.6 kilometers. Excellent. And the last one there, 1 gallon for 128 ounces is 128 ounces for every 1 gallon. And the idea is in problems, you might use this one and you might use that one. And it will depend on the problem whether or not you want to cancel gallons or cancel ounces on the top or the bottom. So let's see how that works down here. Okay, so here we're going to actually multiply these things. And we're going to use our trick of being able to cancel what you see on top and bottom. So there is 3 feet per every 1 yard, and there are 1,760 yards for every 1 mile. So notice that yards will cancel. One's on top, one's on bottom. Yeah, so here we have 3. Let me see, what do we end up with? We end up with feet per mile. And so we'd have to take 3 times 1,760. We'll do that by hand down here. 3 times 0 is 0. 3 times 6 is 18. 3 times 7 is 21. 3 times 1 is 3 plus 2 is 5. Oh, 3 times 7 is 21 plus 1 is 22. Sorry about that. And we get 5,280 feet for every 1 mile. And notice we've taken 3 feet in a yard, 760 yards in a mile, and we have converted the units to a new unit. How many feet per mile? That's what unit conversions is all about. All right, so there are 3 feet in a yard, 12 inches in a foot. Does anything cancel? Yes, feet cancels. So we're going to be left with inches per yard. So 3 feet in a yard, 12 inches in a foot. Let's times these things. 3 times 12 is 36. 1 times 1 is 1. There are 36 inches per 1 yard. All right, next one, number 23. There are 2 cups per pint, 2 pints per quart, 4 quarts for a gallon. And when we times these guys together, let's see if anything pint and pint, quart and quart. And so we are left with 2 times 2 is 4 times 4 is 16 cups. 16 cups for every 1 gallon. And it doesn't really matter if you know what cups or pints or quarts are. When these are given to you, you can multiply them to convert the units into cups per gallon. Okay, next one. Number 24. 1 minute for every 60 seconds. 1 hour for every 60 minutes. If we're timesing them, those two go away. And we're left with 1 times 1 is 1 hour for every, it's going to be seconds. 6 times 6 is 36 with a 0 and a 0. 3,600 seconds. 1 hour for 3,600 seconds. Good. Oh, now here we have a price one. That's kind of fun. 1,300 watts times 2 cents per watt. So the watts will cancel, and so whatever answer we get is going to be just dollars. So 1,300 times 0.02. So this is all over 1, so we don't have to worry about that. 1,300 times 0.02, let's write that down, times 0.02. It's going to be 2 times 0, 2 times 0, 2 times 3, 2 times 1, and 1, 2 decimal places right there. So we get $26.00. Yeah, 1,300 watts, 2 cents per watt would be $26. Cool. Okay, number 26. 20 miles times 1.6 kilometers per mile. And notice what we're really doing here. We're taking 20 miles, and when we multiply these, the miles will cancel. This is like over 1. So the miles will cancel, and we're going to be left with how many kilometers? So really, we're taking 20 miles, and we're converting it using this conversion factor that was actually up here in number 19, 20 times 1.6. Okay, so 6 times 0 is 0, 6 times 2 is 12. Put a 0 down, 1 times 0 is 0, 1 times 2 is 2, and we get 320 with 1 decimal place. So 32.0 km, and that's the unit. So we have effectively changed 20 miles into kilometers. Great!